Okay, so I've run a few more tanks of fuel through this engine now, and it feels like it's, the break-in procedure is well underway. What I want to demonstrate now is how to go about setting. I'm going to, more or less set the high-speed needle to where I would be setting it for flight, and show the process for adjusting the idle to the proper level. Now, in the last tank that I ran, which was not on video, I tweaked it up to about 10,400 RPM, and then I backed it down to about 9,800, which is about where I would set it on the ground anyway with this prop. I have not touched the idle adjustment screw nor the idle throttle stop screw at all, but I did find that where the throttle stop screw is set from the factory allows it to actually kill or die, so I'm probably going to have to readjust that. If nothing else, I'll just readjust the idle adjustment screw here, which, as the stock setting is, it's completely flush with the outside edge of that throttle arm. So if I know that I lose those settings, that's where I need to go back to. So again, this is a 12.6 top flight prop, and I'm going to employ the pinch technique to demonstrate about the right setting for the low end RPM. When I saw it running on my last video, or my last run, it would reliably idle at about 3,300 RPM, but I know I can get it to go considerably lower than that, about 2,500 I'm hoping. But when I went down that low, it just died because it was too rich. So that's what we're going to adjust on this video. You'll also notice that this thing is considerably easier to hand start now. How rich it sounds right now. So you can hear the RPM increase when I pinched it. That means, gives you an indication that it is quite rich. Let me check my full throttle again. So here, if I actually close this all the way, it'll die. So I need to adjust this just a hair. I'm going to close this up so maybe I can get it so it doesn't die completely. Restart. See, that's a pretty decent idle RPM, but it's really rich still. And it just died. So apparently I'm going to have to adjust that just a little bit more. Open it, the throttle, and then set it so it won't close all the way. Hopefully that'll be my throttle stop setting. Now I'm going to adjust my low end idle adjustment. So I leaned it out just a little bit. And here it sounds a little bit smoother now. Got good transition. I wanted to die there. Let me do my pinch. Fully closed throttle. I closed my throttle stop a little bit more there. And you can see now it's fully closed and it's not going down to a very low idle. So let me adjust that again. Okay, I'm about out of fuel here, so this experiment's about done. And there, it's out of fuel. So that's the process for setting the low speed idle. Just like with any two-stroke engine, you want to make sure you have your high speed needle set first. Then I always adjust my throttle stop screw so that when I fully close my throttle, I'm at a good RPM level. I don't usually ever set my engine up so I can kill the throttle. That's just not how I do it. You can do that, it's not a problem. And then you can just set your throttle closure opening with your radio, but when I'm on the bench, this is how I set it so I don't inadvertently close it and kill it and have to keep restarting the engine. Now obviously on a plane I would set it up so that I could close it fully and kill the engine if I needed to, and with the throttle trim is how I would adjust the throttle stop at that point. But for setting it up on the bench, this is how I do it. So the process was set the high speed needle first to a good RPM level that on the ground, because it's going to unload a little bit in the air, and then go to idle. And I employ the pinch technique because you just pinch it, and if you hear the RPM just start to increase a little bit, you know you're on the rich side, but that's usually a pretty sweet spot. If you pinch it and the engine dies immediately, then you're too lean. So then you need to richen it up or open your idle adjust screw. So what I had to do is I ended up closing my idle adjust screw about half a turn from where it was at the factory setting. And that seemed to be a pretty good idle. Now I'm not saying this engine is completely broken in because I don't think it is, but the idle will only get better, sound more stable as the engine gets broken in. Because even at what I had it set at, it was running, but there every now and then it wanted to kind of pop and feel like it wanted to die, so I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable sitting on a taxiway with this engine set like this right now. It needs some more running time, needs some more braking time, but the idle will get considerably smoother as it gets more broken in. But I think in general those settings are really good right now.